Alright, so I have my moss terrarium that I've been growing in my grow tent for 2 weeks. I have some leca, I have some sphagnum moss, I have my box of found moss, I have activated charcoal. I just use the fish activated charcoal that you can find at your local pet store, or I actually found this one at a local retail store. I am going to be using a canning jar, so you need something that has a snug fitting lid. So I have a canning jar. I like the wide mouth one because you can stick your hand in, and I got these silicone seals for these, so you can tighten them down and it gives you a nice seal on the jar, but it also gives you some light through the top. They're a little bit opaque, so it gives you a little bit of light through the top here. All right, so what we're gonna do is you wanna grab some leca. You can also use gravel as well. My leca is a little bit big. I don't know why it's so big. This bag I bought, it's like really big leca. I mean, it is like really good size leca, so I don't know why this one bag. So you want to put your leca or your gravel in first. I think that's a little bit too much. It's a little bit small of a jar, so I'm going to take a few pieces of this jagged leca out. Okay, and then the reason why you put activated charcoal in your terrariums is because you don't want mold to grow in there, so the activated charcoal just helps for the mold not to grow. You want to put a little bit in. I just put a little tiny bit in there because you don't really need a whole lot of it. I also have some sphagnum moss, some moistened sphagnum moss. You want a little bit of water to squeeze out of it, but not a whole lot, so you can squeeze it before you put it in. And we're just going to put a thin layer of the sphagnum moss in, and I'll show you this one when we get all done, and I'll be doing updates. So in 2 weeks, we'll do a 2-week update on this one and then a 1-month update. And then I just have my normal everyday potting substrate. And what I use is just an indoor potting mix and then a fine grade orchid mix. That's how I have always potted my plants. They seem to do really well. It gives it a little bit of drainage. You can get real creative in here. I'm gonna stick this little piece of tubing in here. I'm gonna make like a little, hobbit hole or something like that, just to help mix it up just a little bit. So let's get some more dirt in here, and you can do as much as you want. I think I just covered my hobbit hole. I did. So let's try to. I'm gonna try this differently. It's not gardening if you don't have some fails, right? So we'll kind of tuck him in there. I'm just gonna put just a little bit more to kind of cover it. It just gives it a little bit of dimension. I'll turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so I made like a little hill. I hope you can see it. Made a little hill on mine. I think I need to move a little closer. I'm gonna move my stuff just a ton. Oh yeah, that's much better, right? You can see me a lot better at doing this. So all of this is found moss. I grabbed some sticks out of my yard that had some lichens on it. I got some found rocks as well. But all of this was found moss, and I've had it in this box for about 2 weeks. It took it to kind of come back, but as you can see, it looks really nice. There's a couple different kinds in here, there's some that I found in the lawn. Whatever, right? Like I have a really nice lichen that I got off of a tree. I have this lichen as well. But all they're in is they're just sitting on top of some sphagnum moss. So they're just rehydrated. They were brown. It's been really hot here. I live up in northern Idaho and it's been really hot here this summer. So all the moss is like really dry. So I got it to rehydrate, and all you do is grab some of your rocks. Let me turn this around so I can kind of see, and stick some of your rocks in there. Stick some of my rocks in here. Just kind of stick them here and there. I think I have too many rocks, but it's okay. I'm going to use this stick to kind of, we'll use the found stick to adjust. But then what you want to do is just take some small pieces and just kind of piece it in. I'm just going to take this piece and put it towards the back. I got the other piece that was in the same. But like I said, so this one I've had in for 2 weeks. I don't know if you can really see very well. All the moss in here was brown when I put it in. And it's actually starting to rehydrate in here. I've just had it on a heat mat in my grow tent to kind of get it to get a little steamy. But here we go. I'm just gonna put my moss in. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this guy. I think I got plenty of moss, that's for sure. I didn't know how much I was gonna need, so I grabbed quite a lot of different kinds here. Probably not gonna use the sticks or anything. But it's kind of nice to use found materials because it's all free. So everybody likes free, right? I like free. So this is what I've done so far. I hope you can see. Just kind of put some moss here and there. I have these really cute little rocks that I'm going to put in here. I got this little bag of like mixed rocks. I'll put in there. This little path to my little hobbit hole or whatever it is going to be. Let's see. I got a couple little spots. I could put a couple more little pieces of moss. You kind of want to fill it in because once, you want to make sure that it looks good. Like I said, I'll do a 2-week update on this so that we can all see, and maybe I can get a little closer in on it. Let's see. I think I'm going to kind of put this little lichen in here just because it's kind of cool to have something different besides just moss in your terrarium. So I am going to stick it next to one of these rocks, see if I can't get it to grow onto the rock. And then I'll have to grab some water, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my watering can, little red watering can. Got this really cheap. Like to do a lot of thrifting for my stuff. This is a thrift store, fine. Particularly don't like the metal lids, but I have this jar. Thought I would just try it out. Just give your terrarium just a little bit of a drink. I try to aim for the rocks when I give my terrariums a little bit of a drink. Just pay attention to them. This could be the only watering that you give them. So just make sure that it's moist. Let's get a little bit here in the front. Yeah, this could be one of the only drinks that they get the whole time that they're in there, because what you're doing is you're creating like its own little ecosystem. So once this is, you know, mature and ready to go. I think I'm going to put this kind of weird lichen in here too, maybe. I don't know. I don't see a spot for it, so we'll just stick it back in there. But I just, this is kind of funny, but these are from Swiffer mop pads, and they work really good to propagate in. And that's all I used to rehydrate these. They were, like I said, in my little, it's kind of a makeshift grow tent, but I'll have to do a tour video of my makeshift grow tent. But that's all there were was in this, and it created its own little oasis to rehydrate. So let's see if you can see. I gotta kind of do some cleaning. But this is what it turned out to be. I hope that the lighting in here is not good. But this is what this turned out to be. See, I got like a little hobbit hole in there. Let's see. And my moss is in there. And this one, I'll get him up close. He's got like a little dinosaur in there. And then some moss around. And the moss in here was definitely dead before I put it in here. It was brown, really, really brown. So what you want to do now, I like to make sure my lids, like I said, this one I don't particularly like. Got dirt all over it. I don't particularly like that one because it doesn't have any light option for the top, but these are just silicone. I got these off Amazon. They're just lid inserts, and I'm a canner. I love to can, love to garden. And so I found these perfect. So, all right, that's it. If you guys have any tips or tricks for me as far as found moss, go ahead, nicely leave them in the comments. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Hey guys, so I'm gonna do a 2-week update on our terrariums that we made. So, okay, so the big one that I had made in the video to show you guys, like it had been, I don't know what happened, it didn't make it. So, but this is all of the found moss that I had found. So I created like a little ecosystem for it. It is doing really well. I'm really surprised. I did throw a Raphidophora hyee in there just to give it some more, and I don't see them, but I did toss a couple roly-polies in there because they're supposed to be pretty good for your environment. But this is really crazy. It's just in a salad container. I took it out of the Swiffer pad box and just put, what I put in here? Do I have any leca? No, I just put Sphagnum Moss in there. And look at how crazy amazing it looks. I'm just very pleased with this. Like, I don't want to move it. Yeah, I threw this in there just like a week ago. So it really hasn't rotted, but it's very green. And just the different kinds of moss is pretty cool in here. So there's that one. Now here is the terrarium that I created. I'm going to open it for you guys. It's very, oh, I guess I'm not going to open it. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But all the moss in here is still alive. It's not quite as green. Here, let me turn it around. It's not quite as green as I thought that it would be, but I stuck a couple little chickies in there just to add some animals. Some of the moss did get a little moldy, and that could be why it's not doing as well. And I did pull it out, some of the longer moss, but I think it's so far a success. I'm trying to move it so you can get a good look at it. Let me see if I can get this lid off. Oh, I got it. Okay. It's very sealed, so yeah, it's still doing pretty well. If you can see the moss in there, this is the moss here. It's still green. It doesn't stink or anything, so I think it's doing really well. I think that this is going to be a success. So I will come back in a couple weeks and we'll get an update on that. So thanks guys, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Hey guys, so I'm doing an update on the terrariums that we made together, the Mossariums. It's been a little bit longer than 2 weeks. I've said it in other videos. Life gets to you, right? I don't know how well the one in the jar has done, some of my little chicks, but the moss is still kind of brown. I might update this. There's a little bit of mold in there. It might get updated. I'm going to show you the one in the spinach box. And I'm probably going to update this to the Sphagnum Moss only for the Mossariums, because this guy is doing amazing. I mean, the moss in here, and this is just the found moss, and I have the long fiber moss. I think this one's called pin cushion moss, but it just looks so much better. And all this is just on sphagnum. Yeah, I had a bunch of these Raphdor high cuttings, so it got one too. But I have a really big plastic container that I may transfer this into. It's just doing so much better. And I should have put sphagnum moss in there instead of the dirt, but oh well. So that's the update on these. I won't be doing another video, so if you have any questions, just make sure that you leave any comments or questions below. Just remember, always positive. If you leave negative, I'll block you. I'm sorry. But go ahead, and if you want to see any more of my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for more updates when I post. So thank you guys for joining me. And again, up close picture of, I think, a successful Mossarium. And the other one, I'm going to have to say, was somewhat of a fail. So thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.